Welcome to Beauty Business Matters. I'm Susan Routledge, your host, and today I have a very special guest, another very special guest. I'm here with Justyna Rostek. I've known Justyna for quite a few years now. Firstly through Beauty Directors Club. I'd followed your business before because obviously you've got multi-awards. But what I want to talk about today is how you, obviously we'll go through your journey, but also how you have sort of pivoted and changed your business right the way through. And also as well, I think there's something very significant that came out of your training where potentially you saved your husband's life. So I think this is going to be a really, really interesting episode. So, Justyna, welcome. Lovely to have you here.
Hello. Thank you for having me. Really, really pleased to be here.
Oh, and as well, on probably the hottest day of the year, this is getting recorded.
This is lovely to be here, actually.
In air conditioning.
Yeah.
So where did it all begin? Your journey into beauty therapy, how did that all start?
It started quite randomly, actually. So I was straight A students through my GCSEs and A-levels in Poland, so slightly different. And my parents just had me set for law. So sadly, that plan failed very quickly. So
did you start studying it?
No, I literally missed out by 2 points. I didn't get into the free universities in Warsaw. So there was a plan that I could join later. Yeah. But I had the whole summer to just have fun. And at the time I lived in Warsaw with my auntie and kind of partying, living the life of a student, but not student in Warsaw. And it was my auntie who basically said, enough is enough. She had spoken to some people and she had found me a school and told me when the interviews were, the entry interviews. So I went along and it was a beauty school. I was always interested. So I always loved makeup, nails. I was an Avon consultant just to make a little bit of extra money. So I went along and I got in. And that's how the journey started.
So, and then did you work over in Poland or did you come straight over to the UK?
I came straight over to UK. So the only job I had in Poland was my work experience salon.
Right.
Luckily, like a flagship for Environ in Warsaw. So I was very lucky, very fortunate. But yeah, literally 2 weeks after collecting my diploma, I was over here.
On your own?
No. I followed my boyfriend. So now a husband, but I followed him. Yes.
And then come over to the UK. Did you find work very easy? Because obviously the qualifications are slightly different. Was that a barrier? Because I know we've had Verify, Magda and things on, looking at how like the qualifications can vary, and obviously yours would be different to the city and guilds and everything we've got here in VTech.
I think at the time, because Poland was so new into the EU, because Poland had only been a member of EU for a year, there wasn't anything to officially kind of move the certificates or the qualifications. But because it lists all the subjects covered, it was accepted as an NVQ3 very quickly. So that wasn't a problem. I didn't have to. I just had the translations of them. That's it. And that was enough to get me a job and get me insured. But it wasn't easy, I have to say, in the beginning. I thought I knew how to speak English. Turns out that learning American English in school in Poland was very different to landing in South London. With all the different nationalities and accents, I was so confused. So, yeah, the beginnings were a little bit hard on that front.
So had you studied English over in Poland, or was it just from watching TV?
Yes. So we had in school, so it was through primary school and high school, and then even in beauty school, we did have a Canadian teacher. So I was used to, I had an American teacher in high school and then a Canadian.
You had a great accent.
So, it was like saying trash and using all the words that were not English. So the beginnings were a little bit hard because it was a huge shock. Thinking I understand
Yeah.
And I did not understand people at all. I really struggled, especially going into little corner shops. So, yeah, my first job, my skills were okay, but I was turned down. And the lady told me it's because of your English. She didn't think that it was good enough to speak to clients, to explain clearly, to do consultations.
Oh, wow.
So, yes, that was the hard beginnings.
So then you just moved on to somewhere else? Or?
I got a job in just a salon locally in South London that paid cash. And the two benefits of that, it wasn't the best job, but I learned how to wax very quickly.
Yes.
And I learned how to speak English very well because I was exposed to, lots of nationalities and clients. So they gave me a chance. And then 3 months later, that same first salon where I was turned down was advertising for a therapist again. And I phoned and left a voicemail for the lady, and she remembered me. And pretty much that voicemail got me a job.
Wow.
So she just went, oh my gosh, your English has improved so much in 3 months. Come along. But, I know that practically I don't need to test you. So, yeah. I got the job then.
And how long were you there?
I was there for a year, maybe a year and a half. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah.
So how far down the journey did you then decide to start your own business?
Oh, gosh. About 10 years or 9 years of working in various salons all around London.
Yeah, yeah.
So in my journey, I had worked in private salons that were part of a bigger hairdressing chain and had beauty in the back. Salon that was part of a major gym chain at the time, worked through agencies, temping. So I was exposed to a lot of different environments, a lot of different brands.
Yeah. All great learning experiences, yes. Isn't it? You just take something from them all, the good, the bad, and
yes,
sometimes the ugly of it all.
Yeah, some of them, there were mornings where I, cried my eyes out, didn't want to go into work. But again, it was a learning experience because I knew what I didn't want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you have to know what you don't want to know what you do want.
Yeah.
And as well, I think the more experience you can get before starting a business, it just, especially when you're going to be employing people, it makes such a difference, doesn't it? I know with myself, I didn't have as much experience in salons as you, but I'd worked in different retail outlets and different things. And you're picking things up all the time, aren't you? Which it's amazing how it then all comes together when you do have your business kind of thing.
Because you learn people, you learn personalities, because that's in large part what our job is managing people, because it's constantly clients with different personalities, different expectations, staff with problems at home they might be bringing. So working in different locations, in different environments with a lot of people just helped me to understand people, get to know people. So now I find it easy if I come across a difficult situation, I can just link it back to something that already happened.
So was there a catalyst in starting your own business? Was there something that happened, or was it just something that was a building kind of like dream to have your own salon?
Working in a lot of salons, I always thought there was always something lacking. So I always said, when I have my own, I will do it properly. And then I got a job in flagship for Guinot in Mayfair. And that salon was just absolute perfection.
I'm not sure whether I came down and possibly had a treatment from you, because I can remember going down to the flagship store. It was beautiful.
It was beautiful. It was just on the back of Bond Street, a very affluent area. We were in a grade 2 listed townhouse that was just made into a salon. So we had beautiful living room as our waiting area. Amazing therapists, really passionate therapists at the top of their game. We had a lady that had worked with Guinot brand since the very beginning, since the 1960s. She had treated royalty and celebrities. So to work with her and learn from her. So I worked there for almost 7 years.
Wow. Yeah.
And kind of made my way up through from being a therapist to, in the end, being a manager. And that salon was just so gorgeous, so perfect. The team, the clients, that when I started working there, I thought, well, I'm never leaving. I actually thought, oh no, scrap the dream of having my own business. I'm staying here forever. And then we were told that the salon was closing.
Yeah, there's always a catalyst, isn't there? And but you know, I always like that. At the time, I bet it felt quite disastrous. But there's always, I always like really think you're on a permanent journey, and there's never anything goes wrong. There's always like something that's going to be your next step. You know, because everything that you've done since. Can you imagine if that had stayed there? You could possibly still just have been there.
Yes, yeah. And probably not grown as much as a person as I have done in the last 10 years of having my own business. But that, like you say, it was an opportunity. So the salon was closing. A lot of the staff were moving on to salons locally that were willing to take on the clients and the staff. So staying within Mayfair area. And for me, I thought, will I still continue commuting for over an hour a day to something that will not be perfect? Because I was done with, with all of that. Or do I do my own? And it was a great opportunity because at the time, Guinot were just launching the franchise model in the UK. So just the timing of everything, I was so lucky because I just dreaming about the options, literally randomly Googled local commercial units for rent and found the salon that was just perfect. You know, there was just
surprise.
listing that was in the right area with the right size and frontage, because there's rules to opening a franchise salon. And I approached the MD of Guinot at the time, Chris Gillam, and well, the rest is history, because 2 days later I was in there with the financial director viewing the property. So it just, from that on, it went so quickly. This was about July time, I think. August bank holiday, I was picking up the keys. Wow. And 3 months later we opened.
Wow. And this is the thing with a franchise, isn't it? Because it's everything. It's sort of like buying a bit like buying a business in a box, and you're just ready to go.
Yes.
Have you found that to be a fantastic model, or have you found it restrictive? Or tell me some of the fors and against.
I think from the initial setup, actually, the support from the brand you get to know exactly how to set up a client, what to do from a legal standpoint, what insurances, licenses, information commissioner registration, all of these things. There is literally a step-by-step roadmap with a timeline provided for you. They've even, when I've given them the plans, they do a 3D map of the salon, how it will look. So it was easy to talk to the builders. It was easy to give that map into the council. So the opening was just a breeze. And then from that moment on, I was one of the very first franchisees for UK and Ireland. So we were very much working very closely with the brand, feeding back on what worked, what we thought could be changed or tweaked, what extra materials or point of sale we would need. So we were helping to build the model. So it was very collaborative. So I loved that because I like to do new things, introduce new things. It excites me, ideas. So that was fantastic, kind of the setup and the support you get, the support of the brand through the tough times, the lockdowns. I've had my salon flood.
Oh, yes, I forgot
8 months after opening, my beautiful salon got absolutely trashed, flooded. So to have the support of the brand when we had to cancel all the clients that they helped to provide gifts. They helped to put, my orders on hold. I didn't have to worry about payments until insurance paid. Things like that. They helped me to stay afloat. Same with lockdowns and COVID. The support was incredible.
So did you have do you have like a sort of a support manager that works alongside you, or how does that work?
Yes.
Or is it a team or?
There is a franchise team that you work with. So the team has grown over the years. So at the minute, there is a manager of the franchise, and then there is literally a team of, trying to think, 4 or 5 that are on hand to support you. So there's a business development manager that will help with figures and budgets and look at the financial side of the business. Operations manager that will come in and help with the day-to-day running of the business, maybe trackers for therapists or the software that we're using, optimizing that. There is training support. So there's a dedicated trainer that will come in and upskill the team whenever we need it. They will also run audits as well to check if the team are doing everything to protocol, and then they will decide to upskill themselves. And then there is customer services when it comes to our orders and things like that. So it's a huge team to support the business.
Yeah. So obviously you were one of the first. Have you seen that model? Has it changed a lot now from the very first days, or is it still?
Yeah.
I suppose it'll have just strengthened, really.
Yeah, it has strengthened, it had grown, because now all the little bits that we may have been missing in the beginning, now everything is in place. Yeah. So I feel like if someone is to open a franchise salon now, actually it can be quite overwhelming. There is a lot you need to learn, and you need to learn it very fast, because you're not just starting a little one room and see how it goes. You're literally going from 0 to 60 in the matter of weeks.
Yeah.
It's very, very fast. But you are given like you said, business in a box, everything that comes with it. Oh, there's also marketing support. I forgot.
Yeah. Yes. So it's like every corner, isn't it? Every angle.
Corner. And the way that it's run, it's got a little bit of, although it's a small, you're running a small salon, you've got that element of a corporate approach. So your marketing plan is not like, oh gosh, it's a heat wave, let's run an offer, let's make the clients come in. The marketing calendar is set in advance. There's no little panic offers.
Yeah.
And things like that. So it's very structured.
Yeah.
And that is great, because for me, I've just adhered to what I was given, and I was able to run, very successful business for over 10 years now.
Yeah. Because the thing is as well that, it is quite time consuming, especially the marketing side and everything like that. So if you've got everything that is there and you're just following protocols, that's just, oh my God, so easy. Because I'm always quite surprised that there isn't more of our brands that have gone down that route, because there's only, like, Guinot have really led the way, haven't they? Yeah. And I think when I can remember when Guinot first came out with the idea, and there was a lot of people thinking, oh, is this going to be good or not? But I mean, it's really, really proven to be such a great model, hasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I think, unfortunately, in our line of business, and you'll know this, Susan, when you speak to therapists about their business, they don't think about it almost as a business. They approach it as a hobby that makes money. Unfortunately, a lot of them. So it's quite overwhelming when you're given this business structure and you need to write a budget and write a business plan and set targets, and they will keep you accountable. And some people are a bit taken aback, or like, oh, I don't want to be told. But you're told how to make money.
Yeah.
So why is this a bad thing?
Yeah. And when it's a proven strategy, then why not? Isn't it? Yeah. I would have thought that one of the restrictive things is because, and I think this might be a good thing, because there's so much out there in our industry. There are, there are some fantastic brands. There's all sorts of equipment out there. And whereas, like, having your own salon, you're a little bit like a magpie. You're like, oh, yeah, I need a bit of that and I need a bit of that. Whereas because you're a franchise, that stops you, it keeps you quite blinkered, doesn't it, really?
It removes all the noise. So you can't concentrate just on your clients and on growing your business within the parameters of the franchise. So I feel like that's what can be hard. And I think that's why not many therapists are deciding for it. We are now seeing in the network, there's a few actually investors that have nothing to do with beauty buying into the model because they look at it from a money-making point of view. Therapists look at it from the point of, oh, but I wanted to do this, but I enjoy doing brows, or but I enjoy doing nails. And, you know, they want to do things that they enjoy rather than make money. It's not that way, but, you know, to put it harsh. So there are limitations, and there are limitations, but to a point as well, because within our network, there are salons that can do other things. But if you want to introduce something from outside the Guinot model, you need to prove how that will add into your business financially.
That's great, isn't it?
So, you know, I literally this morning was looking at one of the groups and someone said, oh, there's a 5,000 piece of equipment I'm looking to buy. Has anyone used it? What do you think? Rather than like, have you looked at how you're going to launch it? Have you interviewed your clients? Have you tried pre-selling courses for that treatment now? So when you actually bring the machine in, your staff are trained and you can do a promotion and within 2 months pay for the equipment, you know? How is it going to add in? Have you looked at your client base? Who will actually need it? You know, so we can introduce things from outside, but we will be asked those hard questions, and we need to prove, you know, how much money will this bring in? How quickly will you get a return on your investment?
But that is the questions that everyone should be asking, but sadly it doesn't happen. And normally I get to speak to salon owners who, you know, normally it's if they've got themselves in a bit of a pickle or whatever, and quite often it's that they've been to a show. They've seen some equipment. It's been like a fantastic supposed offer. And they've bought it without any market research, without finding out if they've got clients for it. And it ends up just gathering dust and being, you know, and I mean, £5,000 is a substantial amount, but some of our equipment, we're looking at like 30 plus £1,000. And I've seen people buy that kind of equipment without, just because it's been sold to them as like, you're going to make so much money from this. You know, whereas I, very much like you're saying, I had to get everyone to pre-sell first and find out if there is that market there, get some money in before you get the piece of equipment. But yeah, so again, it's like it's a bit like having a headmaster, isn't it? Like kind of like, or a business manager, like saying, you know, like, right, you know, like show me the numbers first before. And I love that.
You're allowed to do it, but if you show me how it's going to work. And that's brilliant, because the decisions that I've made have been thought about that way as well. So when I sometimes speak to my friends who run businesses, they're like, oh, I don't know how to do it. In my head, my head goes straight away to numbers. Oh, I don't know if I could make this money. I'm like, well, this money is this much. How much is your most popular treatment? So you need 10 of these treatments or 10 of these courses a month. That's 17 hours of your time. You can do that. And they look, oh, I never thought about it that way. Like, you set yourself that target of 17 of those treatments, and that's very achievable. Right? Rather than becoming overwhelming, just number from nowhere. I don't know how to take it to next level. So for me, if you break it down, even for my therapists, I break down their targets to, you know, daily. And then how many treatments is that? And then, because when you give them the big monthly number, they go, oh, that's a lot. And they they get discouraged before they even started. But when I break it down, they go, oh, that's just
achievable.
4 treatments a day. That's easy. I can do that.
Talking about staff and team, have you found it an easy way to build a team as having a franchise model? Do you find that I think obviously you've got, Guinot's such a great brand, but then obviously with it being I suppose someone applying for a position doesn't know that it's a franchise model initially. They'll just know when they apply that it is a great structure of like them going through the onboarding process. But as far as recruiting, I know we hear all the time that there's no great therapists out there. I think there are brilliant therapists out there. There's just so many great people out there in our industry. How have you found it recruiting?
It can be hard, and since COVID has been even harder because we've trained less therapists. What I will say as well, for me, being a franchisee, what makes it more difficult is that if I commit to hiring you, I can't have you in my salons just doing waxing and body treatments and see how you get on before I train you on, send you on brand training. I have to make that investment from the first day.
Right.
So my interview process is, that there's quite a few levels to it, because I will interview. We've got like a Google marking spreadsheet so we can compare all the candidates. We will interview, we will trade test. We will often do client visits. So clients will trade test for us. I've even done it where people have actually gone and done the first bit of the product knowledge at Guinot, and whoever scored better got the job. So,
yeah.
So, I have to be quite strict with my recruitment process. That said, there's always a few bad apples.
But the good thing with that as well is because, you're going to have everyone who is trained to the same level. They're straight in there. So it obviously you do have the years of experience behind someone and how they talk to clients, but that core knowledge is going to be the same, and it should be the same treatment.
Yes.
Whoever a client goes to.
Yeah. And I think for us with our model as well, it's not only the brand treatment protocols, but the whole client journey is taught. And that is something that I then in the salon coach therapists through over and over and over again. So, you can do the best treatment, but I don't know, you can lose a client over a bad phone call even before they came into you, don't you? So it's how you greet them. We've got a whole journey, and same when they're leaving. So it's those little touch points actually that make it as much as the treatment.
So talking about that, how much of your time is taken up training and overseeing the team opposed to you actually physically doing treatments now?
Oh, I wish I could have a structure to my day. But I've got a very haphazard approach to everything, very kind of dynamic approach. So because I feel like if we've got time, there will be times where I will book training with the girls and we will do something or practice something. We will record it so they can watch it back, or I can give them my notes. So we will have those sessions. But a lot of the time, actually, it's just picking up on the little nuances in their day-to-day as they go along. Like I will hear something and I go, how about next time you try and speak to a client slightly differently? Maybe don't just recommend a product. Don't say, oh, you need this hydrating serum for hydration. Link it back to why. Treat your client as if they were a toddler, like you're trying to answer a 4-year-old, and they keep going, but why?
I always say that. I always like to say what you should do is have it so they're a client, because a client is constantly thinking why, and you need to be able to answer that before they get to that point of thinking why. So you've always got to link it to sort of why someone should be using it.
It's like you need to link it to the problem and then provide a solution, right? So always link it back to, you said this, your skin was dehydrated, or you said you suffered with breakouts. This is the solution to that problem. And that's all you need to say. And then actually, after you explained why you're giving that solution, then my number 2 rule is keep quiet. Because you will see client trying to make a decision. And we've all done this, right? How many times have you walked around the shop with an item in your hand, calculating? do I need another one? Do I need it this month? Can I afford it this month? What will my husband say when he sees the credit card bill? We all do that in our head, right? We need to calculate whether we can spend that money. So allow the client to do all of that in their head. Because if you panic and you go, oh, no, don't worry, there's a sample.
Yeah.
You talked them out of the sale. And they're often, we want things. We're women, of course we want things. And we've got plenty of handbags and shoes that we didn't need.
Yeah.
We just want them. And so you need to allow your client to just kind of justify in her head purchasing that item.
That is another great thing about Guinot, though. They've always been great with sampling. But because we're a Guinot salon as well. We used to be Guinot Crown. For years and years. I just love Guinot. But the thing is that at one point it got to the point where we used to get so many samples. And then I used to speak to salons and they'd say, well, we give out the samples, but then clients don't come back for the products. They just want more samples. And I'm like, well, sell the product first and then say to them, but take the samples and try the samples. And if you don't like the samples, bring the product back. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh, yeah.
Yes, we do that as well. But also, in the busy lives, I have taken samples from places before and they end up in the bottom of my handbag and then I'll be changing my handbags 3 months later and they're still there.
But it's not enough to make a difference on someone's skin. It's really just so that they can experience the smell, the texture, all of that kind of thing. A sample's not going to change that skin in any form kind of thing. But then I would speak to someone and they'd go but we normally give them 4 or 5. No, that's half a pot.
Yes. And it's confusing again. Client goes and go, well, I went to a professional to advise me on what I should use. I was hoping for an easy solution, but I was given 5 options. Now, how is that easy? Because I also feel I run a business and I'm a busy mum of 2. I don't have time to make decisions. Frankly, if someone removes decision-making from me, I will be a better client for you. Book my next appointment for me. Tell me when I'm coming. Tell me what I'm coming for. I don't want to know. What cream am I using? Fine.
Yeah.
And I will just follow you and I will trust you.
To me, that's looking after a client. Yeah. It's when clients are left to their own devices to book their next appointment online or whatever. It's madness. I was like, just get everyone booked in. They're going to come anyway. And if they're on a journey, one facial's not going to do it. They need to be on a journey kind of thing. Yeah. So
and that's,
I love all that.
I always say to my therapist, it's you're not selling, you're advising. Can you actually say, I've got a new member of staff now and she's fantastic at massage and clients absolutely love her and they rave about her treatments, but they don't rebook straight away. And I said to her, can you honestly, truthfully, in your heart, can you tell me that one massage sorted out their back problem? And she goes, well, no, they need another 3. But just tell them then.
Yeah.
Just please tell them, because you're not selling to them. It's the most honest thing. You're not lying. You're not making it up.
Yeah, well, otherwise that client's going to go away thinking they only need one, then go well, it didn't work.
Yeah, 3 days later they'll be like, oh, that massage felt lovely at the time, but, my back is sore again.
And I always say as well, facials are amazing, but the skincare behind that has to be the backup because, 12 facials a year, it's still only, just over half a day. Yeah. So you're still leaving a client 364 and a half days a year to look after themselves.
Yes.
So the thing is that, yes, the facials are amazing, but again, that has to be part of a full, again, the treatments are only a part and parcel of it. Yeah, it's not the full thing.
They can only do so much. I always have these metaphors, I don't know. But I will always say, listen, you can go to hygienist once a month, but if you don't brush daily, still
exactly.
rot away.
That's a great one.
The little daily things, especially with skin, because the skin changes daily. If I see you a month from today, I'm seeing a different skin. It's like you never step into the same river twice. right?
Yeah.
It constantly flows. That's the thing with skin.
Yeah. The cells are changing all the time.
It's changing all the time. So unless what you do daily looks after how they change and how they're actually born and produced as what quality they are, doing a treatment every now and then is not going to help that process.
Now, talking about cells changing, this leads nicely into. So I know, obviously, I think most of our salons in Beauty Directors Club, everyone does mask training, which is a skin cancer detection training, because I think we are looking at unusual angles on clients that they don't normally get to see as well. And I know you and your team are all trained.
Yes.
And you detected something on your husband, didn't you?
I did, yes. Back in 2021, I think, so just after COVID, I did my training with MAST, and then he always had a tiny little mole just at the top of his foot, but tiny, pinhead size. And then after doing the training, it explains to you not just your kind of most common moles, but it gives you the types that are
fantastic training,
slightly different, or that you can get a non-pigmented melanoma and things like that. So his little mole started becoming a slight bump, and that started worrying me because we learn about nodular melanoma in the course. So I've sent him off to GP, who basically they still work with the rules, the point system, the NICE guidelines that kind of dismiss the little ones, the little moles.
Wow.
And I just couldn't get it out of my head that I knew it had evolved, and I knew that it was protruding. So it kind of is different to your asymmetric, different borders, different colors and diameter, because it is so tiny. But it was that texture that was worrying me. So I booked him a private appointment at the mole clinic, and the assessment there, when they actually look under the dermoscope, said that it needed removing. So it was only after he had it removed. So from that moment on, within 2 weeks, he was in the system for NHS and had it removed. It turned out to be a very deep mole that had deep roots that went in between his bones, so he had internal and external stitches, and the biopsy revealed it was in situ melanoma.
I mean, the thing is that the mask training, it's for any salon owners or clinic owners listening who haven't done it. I mean, it's not an expensive training. I think it's less than £50, isn't it? But the thing is, you learn so much from it. And I mean, I can always remember years ago now, I had a client who had just underneath that, just in the fold of our nose, she had just a small mole, but it just didn't look right. And I sent her to her, and she's a beautiful lady. I sent her to a GP who said it was nothing. And then again, and actually she used to come in for Guinot facials all the time. She's still a client now. And she so I sent her to another GP who told her she was being vain.
Ooh, wow.
And so she ended up, we sent her to on a private consultation, and it was a rodent ulcer, and she ended up having to have so much tissue on her face taken away. But the thing is that I think you sort of know when something doesn't look right. But I think now it just, anything that you're unsure of, because normally people don't associate cancers on feet, do they?
Yes.
And now we know it's really common. Yeah. But once if that spread through your system, that could have, heaven knows where it could have led, and it just, it's just that simple detection. I mean, we use Map My Mole, and there's another system now called Spot Check, where because quite often as well with GPs, no fault of their own, but they are so busy.
Yes.
And by the time they then refer someone to a dermatologist, you're way down the line where now, salons who do things like Map My Mole, you can take those images, they go straight to a dermatologist and you have a report back within 48 hours. And we find that just such a fantastic system. And as I say, there's 2 or 3 now on the market with dermatologists behind them. But yeah, it's... so a big thank you from him, I bet. Yeah. Or did he just take it in his stride?
He just thought, what did you make me do? I can't walk now for 10 days. And still have to treat him like a child when it comes to sun cream.
Yeah.
But I think the mask was one of the best trainings I've ever done, because what it does, it kind of puts the moles and the lesions on people's skins to the forefront of your mind.
Yeah.
So you start noticing them. It's like someone tells you, oh, you've never seen a yellow car, and from today, all you'll be seeing is yellow cars. It's just how our brains work. So to know that, I have since had someone who had a little lesion removed from their brow, a friend in a pub, literally the way he looked over, and I was like, have you had that checked on your neck? Maybe you should go. He ended up having 3 lower down, and one of them was melanoma, where he had to have 2 lymph nodes removed from his underarms as well. So it just made me think and notice moles and look at them differently, because as soon as I see a mole, my brain goes through the ABCDs straight away. And then it goes into, okay, if it's not those, then what other things I know about moles? And the training, it's just fantastic. I don't know if you've done, because there's also the advanced pro version.
Yes.
And the advanced version actually teaches you how the GPs grade the moles and kind of the point scoring system that gets you a referral. So with my son, I was able, when the GP said, oh no, he's only young and that's only little, it's fine. I was able to count out the points that he scores because of his father's history. And that's how we got referred. And now he has them checked with the dermatologist at the hospital.
Amazing.
So I think it's beneficial to know that as well. I would highly recommend it to therapists, because then you will know how doctors and GPs think. So you can advise your clients on how to communicate.
Yeah.
Obviously you can't be a doctor, you can't diagnose, but you can advise on how to communicate, because at the end of the day, it is a point system. So you have to kind of know how to play the game a little bit.
What we'll do actually in the show notes, we'll put the masked details in as well. Yeah. Because we've had Marie Tudor on from Mask Talk, and that's I think it was last year, the episode on it, but it's fascinating, sort of like I think everyone always thinks with a skin cancer, it can just get cut out. But it's not. I mean,
but like you say, it can be cut out, but with very, very bad effects on on your self-esteem when you've got a skin flap on your face, or it can spread.
Yeah. Right, now I want some golden nuggets off you. Like all of the years of everything that you've done. And I mean, obviously how many awards have you won? Lots. I know there's lots.
I don't know, because
you lost count.
Yes, I've lost count. I've got a shelf that collapsed in the salon. I'll keep them somewhere else.
I love it. Yeah. Right, golden nuggets. I want 2.
2 golden nuggets. I think my first one is become an expert before you become an entrepreneur. So, go out there, work in as many salons that you can, and try different ones. Try medi spas and spa and normal spas, because you don't know when you leave school what you will actually love. Do you want clients that are returning and you're building rapport, or do you like the hotel environment where it kind of changes
transient?
Over? What machines, what treatments, what brands? Go out there and make mistakes on somebody else's payroll.
That is a great one.
So then when you've got your own business, you're not taking on equipment for 30,000 and then it just sits there gathering dust. Learn, work in a corporate environment, learn the numbers, what is KPI, what to look at. Yeah. So that would definitely be my number one. Go out there and work, because if you think that after leaving school, beauty,
No, you're just learning the techniques and the basics.
The best tips, and I've become the therapist I am today because of the people I work with.
Yeah, but this is the thing, isn't it? It's like, I always like say, whether you're getting a business mentor or whatever, you need to have someone who can prove that they've done what you want to do. Mm-hmm. And it's the same with a therapist. You need to be learning from those therapists who've been there, and you're aspiring to be at that level, kind of thing. So yeah, brilliant one.
Yeah, so that is definitely my number one. And then number two, it's something that I do differently, and I don't know why beauty is not doing it, whereas it's very popular in hairdressing. Charge according to your expertise.
Yes.
So, why are salon owners the busiest person with the fullest column in the business, but they charge the same as the apprentice?
Yeah. And then they say that they fully booked all the time, and then they end up carrying the other therapist. In essence, that's just a brilliant one, because in essence, you're holding your team back, because anyone is going to want the owner. It's the same if whether you're getting your hair done or anything. Even now, I've been out of my clinic for doing treatments for over 20 years, but I could still walk in and recommend a treatment or recommend a product, and a client would go straight away and book it, just because I'm the owner, not because I've got the knowledge or anything behind me. So yeah, it's absolutely, on that same note, we have salon owners who are charging the same in their businesses as someone who's just walked out of college as well, But yeah, definitely in your own business, you need to be at a different price level, because otherwise, they say everyone, it's just natural. A client will want to go for who they think is the person who's been there and done it. Like we've said before, they'll always see a therapist as underneath an owner.
Yeah. And you hear all the time, for anyone who owns a business, they always say they want work-life balance. Right? And I feel like that was one of the most important steps probably that released me from the business a little bit, because I was able to charge 20% more. So I was able to be there 20% less and still make the same money.
Yeah.
So it helps with your work-life balance. It helps to manage the columns and the clients. And I thought I would lose clients. I didn't lose one, actually.
No. But, clients come because of a reputation of a business, and what they see and how they're made to feel, and how important they're made to feel. Price doesn't really come into that. It's it's the perceived value. It's like, I always like to say, it's like, anything, like you can buy a handbag for £5 or £500, do the same thing, but it's sort of like how that person feels when they buy that, and how, and it's the same very much.
It's the prestige with a handbag, right?
Yeah.
So
everyone
the
puts
branded
themselves in
handbag or the branded shoes. So then if you're the more expensive one in the business, then you are straight away an expert. Right? And it's aspirational. People want to be with you. So then you become busier, but limit your time. You're making more money. It just puts you in a different league than your team. And it gives you more time to train your team. Yeah. And I never had anyone tell me that, why are you charging more? Is your team untrained? No, I'm charging more so I can have time to train my team.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. Absolutely love it. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. This has been an absolute joy.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right, in the show notes, what we're going to put is someone can follow you on Instagram, can't they? Yeah. Is that Justyna Rostek?
Yeah,
and as well, I think we'll also put in the masked details as well, because it's just so important. But thank you so much. This has been absolutely brilliant. Loved it.
It's been a pleasure.